Where are you on the face of the clock dial? An interesting question, isn't it? You know, as I look around the world, as I interact with people, in the back of my mind, I'm thinking every single person is somewhere on the face of the clock dial. What's high noon? High noon is when last year was the best year ever in your life and next year looks better still. I mean, it was just the best from a financial standpoint, relationship, professionally, everything was great. You know, if you're high noon, I can't tell you how I wish I could just leap through these airwaves right now and shake you. I wish I could. Why? Because over the course of my entire life, I've never seen someone who was at high noon. I've never seen someone's life go from success to bigger success to bigger success, and on and on. What I see instead is people going through peaks and valleys, through ups and downs, and hopefully overall the trend is good. When I meet a high noon person, I wish so much I could just get you to understand that you can again leverage every good thing you've ever done in life. Network marketing, Agile, will pay you again for every good thing you've ever done. Why? Well, because when you join me, people will say, wow, if Brent's doing it, I know he's at the absolute top of his life. If Lisa's doing it, I know how good things are. She must have something for me. Wow, that's a great opportunity. When I got involved in the network marketing industry, people looked at me and they thought, wow, Randy's a high noon guy. But you know what? I wasn't. Most people who are at high noon don't get involved. Why? Because we're a little full of ourselves, frankly. It's because if last year was the best year of my life and next year looks better still, why should I change? What's 3 o'clock? 3 o'clock is where I was when I got involved in the industry. That's when something has changed. You know it, I knew it, but the world didn't know it. I was still living in a beautiful home behind big gates in one of the most affluent suburbs in Southern California. Everything looked the same to the outsider, but I knew different. I had speculated, I had invested heavily in Southern California real estate some number of years ago. Interest rates had gone against me, all those beachfront properties were vacant. I wasn't making the payments. Something had changed, only I knew, no one else knew. That's what 3 o'clock is. Ask yourself right now, where are you on the face of the clock dial? Are you at high noon? Was last year the best year in your life? Might it be a good idea to further gain value from that remarkable positioning? Are you at 3 o'clock? Has something changed and only you know? Maybe your husband or your wife doesn't even know? You know, I think of one of my relatives, my brother actually, who's been involved in the real estate industry. If we'd met him only 2 years ago and said, tell me, what's it like? He could have said honestly that the last 12 months were the best 12 months of his life financially, that things look good relationship-wise, everything's looking pretty good. And then I think somewhere about 6 months later, something changed. He knew it, but his neighbors didn't. It looked the same to the outsider, but he knew that what has now turned into a full-blown crisis in the real estate industry was already experiencing a slowdown. He was in the mortgage business, the real estate industry, and he knew the slowdown was there before it made the newspapers. Would have been a great time to act. A great time to act. If you're at 3 o'clock, act. Why? Because the hands on the clock, they just keep moving. What's 6 o'clock? 6 o'clock is when something's changed and it's become evident to other people. And you see, I think of what will be an example of that. Well, an example of that would be a couple of years ago, you might remember a company called Enron Corporation. And you might remember those people who were in upper-level management positions or even mid-level management positions. It looked like they had the world by the tail. They just looked so good. And then something changed. There was a little bit of internal workings where some of the people inside knew that things weren't quite right for about a 3 or a 4 or 5 month period of time. Then the bad news came. The bombshell dropped. Suddenly it was 6 o'clock. Something had changed and it became visible to other people. Now it becomes a little more difficult. If you're at high noon, people will react to the Agile message because of your success. If you're at 3 o'clock, you look just like high noon. Leverage that moment. Take advantage of it. If you are at 6 o'clock, I have a very, very important message to you. When the momentum is working against you, if you are at 6 o'clock, if something's changed and it's become evident to others, it takes an incredibly powerful vehicle. Frankly, it almost takes an act of God. It takes one incredibly powerful vehicle to stop the movement of the clock and turn those hands backwards. Agile is such a vehicle. It will absolutely require that you become an effective conduit to the system, that you become not just a part of Agile, but that you become one who knows exactly and specifically how to guide others into the process so they see Agile, not that challenging moment where you are. And by the way, I'm one that knows it can be worse than 6 o'clock. It can be 9. What's 9 o'clock? Well, high noon was the best year ever in your life. Things look good all the way around. 3 o'clock, something changed. You knew it, nobody else did. 6 o'clock, something's changed and it's become obvious to others. 9 o'clock, failed to react to that situation at 6. 9 comes, and you know what? The vast majority of people at 9 o'clock fall into the fetal position. If you happen to be one of those who today is completely under the gun, if 9 o'clock is where you are, just like that person at noon, I wish I could leap through this camera, just grab you and shake you, and tell you found one of the ways out. It is Agile. It is the network marketing industry. It is Agile specifically. We have proven an ability to stop the progression of the hands on the clock dial and move it backwards. And by the way, wherever you are, it's okay. You know, at times past in my life, happily not today, but at times past in my life, I've been such a risk taker, I have raced around that clock dial 3 or 4 times. I know what all those positions are like. What I can tell you is this: if you are in one of those challenged positions, you need Agile. You need it. We can help. If you're in one of those advantaged positions, you need Agile too. Because you know what? The hands on the clock move. And this gives you an opportunity to let others borrow your success. And frankly, what I've learned to do over the course of a number of years in my life is I've learned how to always live between noon and 3. Always to live between noon and 3. It takes a while to develop that. For me, at least, it took a while to develop the maturity to know when I was moving just a little bit this direction and respond to it and fix it. This is a chance for you to stop the hands on the clock if they're where you don't want them to be. It's also a chance for you to forever hold the hands between noon and 3. Agile is an unbelievable opportunity. And you know what? The very fact that you're now reviewing this message says that someone perceives that Agile will be a better company with you in it than it is without you in it. I hope you'll make the decision to join us, and I really look forward to meeting you. Thanks.